Hello, my name is Anthony Renteria, and this is A Lonely Critic. So today I just got done watching Blade Runner 2049. I just wanted to do a quick review of it. Sorry, I'm going to pull up some notes. I'm going to try to have a little bit of a format to this, so I am really tired. Today's an off day that I had from work. I don't normally get off days, but this week I got 3 off days, so I did some movie watching. I watched Blade Runner because we're gonna do a review on it for my Cinevert podcast. So, and then you might watch this after my other episode. I might have this format down because I should be recording an episode on the Eternals and Spencer, both of which might come out before this. I might hold this until a little closer to when the Cineverm episode drops. Okay, so here's the format. So I'm gonna have an intro. I'm gonna have an intro from now on, so that's exciting. So hello, I'm Anthony Renteria, also known as A Lonely Critic, and I'm a critic because I am lonely. I just finished watching Blade Runner 2049, directed by Denis Villenuve. I don't have the writers in front of me or other credits. Obviously, it's the cinematography is by Roger Deakins, who is a legend. The film stars Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Ana de Armas, Jared Leto. So the format, I'm working through this, alright. So it's going to be the intro, and then I say, I just finished watching, I say some credits, which I should get better at having the credits at hand. I don't. And then basic plot synopsis. Okay. So if you don't know anything about Blade Runner 2049 or Blade Runner films, period, the original by Ridley Scott, what is there, 4 different cuts of that film? But anyway, so Blade Runner 2049, it's essentially about Ryan Gosling's character, who is a replicant in this world. So this is like a kind of futuristic dystopian world where humanity has robots and AIs and clones, all kinds of futuristic gadgets, and replicants are essentially inhuman creations. They don't really get into a lot of the details of what they are exactly. It's just kind of like they don't actually show what they are. They're obviously man-made, but they don't show if are they just full biological clones, or is there some sort of mechanical aspect to them? I mean, I assume there is, but they seem to have complete organic tissue now that I'm thinking about it. So that's interesting. I'll be sure to remember that for my conversation on Cineverm when I get into the spoilers. But anyway, so Ryan Gosling is a replicant, and the film kind of centers around the story of him trying to uncover a mystery of what happened to this other replicant. And I think that's all I'll say, non-spoiler synopsis. I think that's all you really have to know. And it's all about, idea or theme is, what is it to be human? Are you human? Are you inhuman? What does it mean to be human? What is human? And I think that's an interesting idea. I think the whole narrative of Blade Runner is based off a story. I'm not sure if it's a short story or a novel, but I want to say it's the original story is something called Do Electronic Sheep Dream? Do androids dream? There's something about androids dreaming, and then for some reason I want to say sheep. Electronic sheep. So that might be wrong. I don't know. I'm winging this. This is not this isn't a well-researched machine. This is just me. I'm in my bedroom. I don't even have paintings on my wall. So I'm working with scraps here. So don't take any of this as factual evidence. This is just me, a lonely critic, and obviously I'm too lonely to research this stuff. So that's all the plot synopsis and backstory you need to know. I'm already 6 minutes in and I haven't even started talking about the movie, Jesus Christ. And I was like, you know what, the next Lonely Critic, that one's gonna easily be under 10 minutes. So, as you can tell, I am a well-oiled machine of progress. Okay, so some interesting info about the film. Obviously it's a sequel to the original Blade Runner, which is just a monumental, classic film in the cinephile sphere. If you're not a big film lover, maybe you've heard you've heard of Blade Runner, but if you're into film and you're a cinema lover, a film buff or whatever, you've definitely heard of Blade Runner and the influence and that noir aesthetic, the futuristic retro aesthetic, and the imagery and the ideas. It is a staple of cinema, I feel like. Whether or not you enjoy the film and its various cuts, whichever one, I think the final cut is the one I've seen, and that's the one I prefer and I love. So I think there's a lot of baggage with that, creating a sequel of a film of that kind of caliber, because it means a lot. to the history of film and the fans. You know, it's always hard to do direct sequels. All right, so let me get into my immediate reactions, because going off this format thing is really screwing me up, and I'm already 8 minutes in. So my immediate reactions after watching this, and this is a rewatch. I watched this film originally when it came out in, I believe, 2017 or 2018. I want to say 2017. I don't know. Again, if you're looking for facts, this is not the place for facts. This is all about opinions. Lonely person's opinions. So I watched this film originally in theaters, and I had a lovely experience. Roger Deakins' visuals are just beautiful. Like the imagery on display is amazing, and it's fascinating. The way he plays with lighting is intense. I mean, it's insane. There's some lighting shots in this film that are just mind-boggling, just on a technical level. What he does with light, like, you know, everyone always in the film world, I always think about this. I'm like, man, what would X person do with unlimited budget? You know, and it's like a very subversive, creative person. I'm like, what would they do with like no restrictions? And I think this is like one of those examples that has happened, and I'm really grateful for it. Is Roger Deakins having unlimited budget and having just do whatever you want to do, just do it. And I feel like you can really feel that in this film, that he is doing whatever he wants to do, and he is doing it, and it's beautiful. I mean, just all the lighting and shadow, it feels like every lighting setup in this film is just, it's insanity. Like the lighting is always moving, it's changing, it has like this organic feel to it. There's light, shot through water, shot through cracks, crevices, blinds. It's just pure insanity. Like, I just feel like this is a cinematographer's like wet dream of a film. I think he knocked it out of the park, and I think that's the best element of this film. Like, if you really want to watch something that just showcases like the possibility and the power of what a cinematographer can do, this is that film. Like, I think it does it, and it does it better than I think I've ever seen before. And I think in that regard, it is a staple of the capabilities of what light and shadow can do, and how creative and subversive you can get with it. Like, showing, like, I don't know, it's just like a pure muscular flex of that technical field. You know, like I think of that as well with like I'm a huge fan of like the Mission Impossible movies for what they do for stunt work. Same thing with like Jackie Chan, what he's done for stunt work in the martial arts department. And I feel like Roger Deakins is that same kind of staple type of figure. Like, Jackie Chan changed martial arts forever. And I feel like Tom Cruise and the Mission Impossible team, specifically in the stunt work, they are, pushing the envelope in what they believe can be like the future of real practical stunts, and then the impact of that. And I think Roger in this film truly cements himself as like the frontiersman of like cinematography, like pushing that envelope and designing something that is just immaculate in a visual sense. And then Denis Villenuve obviously is the director of the film. I think both of them, deserve mad respect for the visuals and the compositions that they set. Yeah, I think it's just visually it's a stunning piece of work. Now, what else did I like from this film? I like the performances. Ryan Gosling, I think he's an amazing actor. I think he's one of like those hyper intelligent performers that really knows what he enjoys doing, like in what field he enjoys being in, and what capacity he enjoys living in and performing in. And I feel like he is so consistent with his choices of what films he picks. Like, he doesn't seem like an actor that really tries to push himself outside of his like typical cliche of a very monotone, serious, like mysterious man. Like, I feel like he was born to play an android because he feels robotic in most of his roles. And I think it's great. Like, I like it. Like, I know a lot of people are like, man, certain performers do the same thing over and over again. But I think if you're good at it and you have fun in it, like, well, what's the problem? Like, I can tell he's just having a blast being this character. And I think he's given a great performance. And it's like, you could argue, yeah, maybe, Ryan Gosling performs the same in every movie, the same quiet type of person. But there's always like a little bit of there's like a 3%, like a sliver, like a hairline sliver of a difference between each performance. And I think in that little variable, I think that's where it becomes very captivating and interesting how he performs. Like, I'm thinking of like one performance I think is one of his best performances that he ever has given is in First Man, and I think that role is just a powerful. I mean, that was a great film, an amazing film, and I think his performance in it was probably like the staple. And I think this film is the same. Like, I think besides the visuals, the best part of this film is his performance. Like, there's a moment where he screams and he's like, "God damn it!" and he like kicks a chair, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's what I live for. Like, I love how he always just has like that one freak out moment in every film, and it's never like over the top. You know, like I love other performers like Joaquin Phoenix and he's like one of my favorite actors. I can't remember his name. He's in Nightcrawler. He's one of my favorite performers. Jesus Christ, how do I not remember like my favorite actor of all time? I mean, I can't even remember. I'm looking at his photo and I can't remember. Jake Gyllenhaal, Jesus. Anyone that knows me is probably like throwing shit at the screen, because the amount of times that I talk about Jake Gyllenhaal, you'd probably swear that I was in love with the man. But yeah, so like Jake Gyllenhaal, Joaquin Phoenix, and then Ryan Gosling. Like three of those guys are like three of my favorite performers, and I love how they're all variable of intensities. You know, I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal's at the top of like, you know, he can go wild, and I feel like Nightcrawler's his best performance, and then Joaquin is like he can alternate. He can be the moody, and then he can bump up to the Jake Gyllenhaal level, and then Ryan Gosling is just a flat line. In a good way. Like, he is just always consistently in that mood. And I like how he consistently picks up performances. So his performance in this film was one of my favorites. I like that Ana de Armas. I think she is just like, I think this was one of the first times I saw her, if not the first time I saw her. And I think this might have been her like breakthrough Hollywood role, because I think she's Cuban, or I don't know where she's from, but I know she was a performer in her native country, and then, you know, she's since moved into Hollywood, into the American film industry, and she's just perfect. Like, she's like literally a perfect woman, and I think this film captures her in that way. Like, not a perfect woman in that kind of way, but like what the film is trying to say about women in this dystopian future, like how it's presenting women as these, I mean, honestly, as like tools, and well, not really tools, but like they are things to be, how do I say this? You know, they are like their products sold, and I think, you know, I think that's very prevalent in our current time as well. Like, I mean, there's who knows how many controversy and stuff about what like the algorithms are doing with in like social media platforms with young teenage women, and like how it's presenting in our current time, how things are presenting women in a certain light that brainwashes younger women and girls into thinking, you know, there's a certain standard. And I think this film is kind of talking about that in a subliminal way with the themes of, you know, like marketing and research and all that kind of stuff. And I think Ana de Armas's character is kind of a representation of that, of like that, of a culture and a marketing ability of what women are sold as. And you see it like in her performance, because she's, you know, kind of this, she's like this AI thing that you buy, and it pleases you, and it gives you all everything you want and everything you need and everything you could hope for. It's like a perfect woman in the idea of what would sell to a man. So that's what I mean. It always takes me forever to like fucking explain shit, because I always feel like, no, that's not what I mean. I don't know. Maybe most people don't even care, but for me, I get like, I don't know. I feel like my thoughts, they happen out of order. Like, I feel like I'm out of sync all the time. Which brings me to like one of my favorite scenes in this film, which is the dual lapsing thing. I really think it's a spoiler, but there's a scene where they play with dual imagery of a single person, and they're like overlapping, and I think that's a beautiful moment, and I think it also sells the idea that I'm talking about of like these things that are being sold and like manufactured and marketed. So I like that. I love the world building, the world that Denis and the production design and the art designers create in this world is just, it's fascinating, beautiful, well rendered. I mean, it's just captivating place. Yeah, I think that's all my likes. And I'm already at the 20-minute mark, so now I'm gonna have to speed roll through my dislikes, and then I have to start recording Cineverb in like 7 minutes. So that's the state I'm in. So dislikes. I disliked a lot about this film. I'm gonna be honest. I think when I first watched this film, it was a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a phenomenal piece of cinema, but it left me with like a weird sour taste in my mouth at the end of it. And I think on rewatch, I was like, all right, all the like bad, you know, like sometimes you watch a movie and then it's like too much, or like something didn't click with you that first viewing, and then you revisit it 2-3 years later, and then you're like, oh my god, it's a 10 out of 10. You know, like there was something wrong with me that first time. This film was the opposite experience, and it kind of bummed me out, because I was hoping it would hit a 10, and what in reality happened is it bumped down to an 8. And I think that all has to do with the script. I think there's a lot of moments in this film that are wasted, and it's so messy. The film is tackling way too much. It's way too broad. It's going to way too many destinations. It's trying to hit too many themes. I think the central theme of the film is, like, what is human, what is that experience. And I think it's the perfect concept, the perfect plot of Ryan Gosling's character. I think his name is K, Agent K. I just watched the movie, and I don't remember. But K's journey in discovering this mystery and unraveling this, what's going on. I'll just say that to not spoil anything. Sorry, I'm like super tired. Like I said, this is my first off day. It's been rough out here. What was I talking about? I gotta record in like 5 minutes. Yeah, there's something in the theme that's just not right. It just really bummed me out, and I think this on the second viewing, all the plot problems really stuck out like a sore thumb, like really bad. And I think I'm gonna go do Cineverm. I'm gonna be right back because I gotta start recording in like 5 minutes, and then I gotta pick up my roommate from work. It's been a lot. I was gonna start another YouTube video channel, and it's been a struggle. So I'm gonna be right back. I mean, you won't tell. It'll be like a cut, and then I'll be back. But I'm gonna go record Cineverm, talk about it, and then maybe when I come back, I'll just wrap this up. I think I kind of touch on everything, but maybe there's some other things I forgot. But yeah. And I'm back. So I got done recording the Cineverm thing like 2 hours ago. I forgot. I forgot I had started this Lonely Critic thing. I am tired. And today was my off day, and I'm tired, just catching up on everything. But yeah, I think what I said previous to this, there's just a lot of the narrative flaws that are slowing me down, or not slowing me down, but stopping me from giving this film a higher score. In that Cineverm discussion that I just recorded, this film is very frustrating, and it's because it's so the moments that are good are so amazing and so beautifully good that it's like it's disorienting when the whole of it has flaws, because like you remember, or I remember this film for all the like magnificent moments. Like I'm sure even though it's not spoilers, I'm sure everyone who's even heard of Blade Runner has seen those images from Roger Deakins that truly highlight the immense beauty and the scope in the world that he captures in this film. So, those moments. And, I mean, if you really want to hear all the spoiler stuff, please go check out Cineverm. I think it was a great episode where me and David get into it, and we talk for like 2 hours about the whole film. So that was really fun, and I think in there I really pour out all my thoughts. And I even one thing I love doing is thinking how would I rewrite the film. And I think, like I've said many times here, I think it's a plot problem. It's completely a script. The script has issues, and I think that's the core of the negativity of this film. But I don't want that to detract from the immense beauty. I think the majority of people would watch this film and just absolutely love it, because there's a lot of captivating stuff in it. So, yeah, this was kind of messy. This is my first time doing one of these reviews at home instead of right after a theatrical screening. And, yeah, I'm just really tired. So, this is not premium content. I don't want to be, I don't even really want to be a YouTuber. I'm just kind of doing this to reach a certain goal, which I think I mentioned in the Dune review that I don't think I mentioned in my intro. But my goal for this whole thing, everything that I'm doing, I'm trying to center it around getting out of my job that I have currently, which is just I don't think this is a cuss word, but it's a hellhole of a place. It's just festering with problems and just ruins your life. And I feel like most jobs do that. I feel like the majority of people who work at a job they despise. You just get so tired, and it just burns you out, and it haunts you to your house or to your home. And I don't know, I've always dreamed of being a critic, being a legit critic, specifically of films, because that's what I love the most. So this is my master scheme. This is my plan. It's probably not a great plan, but this is my current plan, is to just create a bunch of stuff where I'm talking about film, and then at some point next year, I want to collect it first, and me actually get better. by myself to an extent, and then submit it to somebody, some film website or some film publication, or apply, and this be my resume, this be my packet. This video, all the reviews, all the written reviews that I'm writing, and then the podcast, and be like, look, I can talk about film. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm trying to get better, practicing. If y'all have any like tips, or like if you notice that I have a certain tick, or like something that bothers you, or even something you like in editing or something. I had a friend that said he liked, my friend Jeffrey Carroll, he said he liked some of my editing stuff, so that's cool. But anyways, that wraps up A Lonely Critic. What would I give this film out of 10? Since I just got off the podcast, I gave it an 8 out of 10. When I first watched it, 9 out of 10. On this rewatch, it's bumped down to an 8 out of 10. Again, it's a great film. 8 out of 10 is great. It's just like the plot problem that bothers me. And anything that has to do with Jared Leto's character, like all that stuff, I feel like you could have cut that off. Cut that out of the film. But 8 out of 10. If you haven't seen Blade Runner 2049, like, what are you doing? Just go watch it. Like, it's a beautiful film. Like, if you love imagery, just watch it. If you like Ryan Gosling, watch it. If you like Ana de Armas, watch it. It's just, there's a lot to enjoy about Blade Runner 2049, and it's a brilliant sequel. Like, in the scope of all sequels and films, like, I feel like most sequels suck. This is like one of the rare sequels that really grows the world, and not in a forceful way. Like, I feel like everything it does feels so authentic to the original film, but it still feels new, and it's like one of those most difficult balancing tricks of doing a sequel that pays off things from the original, does homages, and then builds more, and then just feels complete, like it feels additive to the original. And then at the same time, you can watch this one without having watched the first one at all. Like, you don't have to have, I watched this without having seen the original Blade Runner. So they're completely independent also, that's like shocking to do that. But yeah, so I'll start doing my plugs now, because I was about to forget. I already said Cineverm. Check out Cineverm, my film podcast. I host it with David. That's every week, and we go into full spoilers, but then we also have, in the beginning of the podcast, a non-spoiler. So for any movie you see on our podcast episode, no spoiler review, and then we get into a spoiler discussion. And then I have a comic book podcast called Comic Verm, so please check that out. I think this new episode should be like Watchmen, our Watchmen review, which is a fantastic comic in my opinion. So go hear what I have to say about that comic book, because I think I'll be watching the Watchmen film, and I'll be doing a little short video on this channel with that as well. So, and then also check out the Back Bedroom podcast, which is my co-host from Comic Verm, Jeffrey Carroll. He hosts that podcast. It's amazing. If you've ever wanted to hear, being a fan of things and geek culture, pop culture, he covers everything. Like, it's not even a podcast about a specific thing. It's just a podcast about, like, having fun. But yeah, that concludes this episode. Thank you for watching. I would say I'm going to try not to be tired. But, I want this channel I don't want it to be like work. I don't want to, like, set an idea down that I'm going to be happy every episode, or that I'm going to be like, welcome to my channel, it's not going to be that. Like, if I'm feeling like poop, then I'm going to be looking like poop, and I'm going to be talking about a movie feeling like poop. Like, that's the reality. And that's not to get on a soapbox, but I feel like, when YouTube first started, back in the day, in the old times, it felt more real, like, now everything's so, like, manufactured and, like, overproduced, and like as you can tell, I have a fucking white wall and, like, one light that is way too fucking orange right now. Instead of, like, the LED backgrounds with, like, fucking whatever lighting, and then some fucking LED thing. And yeah, this is not a major production. We're just hanging out. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Check out my other stuff. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a dislike, do whatever you want to do. I'd like to hear if anyone else has the same issues that I have with Blade Runner 2049. Because I feel like it's a widely loved film, but I don't know. I wonder if everyone felt the plot holes. Well, not plot holes, but the emotional, problems that this plot had. So that'd be interesting. But yeah, have a good night or day or good time.